Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today I wanted to change it up a little bit and discuss 10 Pokemon that I think deserve evolutions in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, aka Generation 9. There are just so many Pokemon that I feel are kind of incomplete from both a design and or stat perspective, and I think that it would be really awesome for Pokemon to grant some of these Pokemon a facelift in one way or another. Now, I'm well aware that with the exception of Sylveon and regional evolutions, we have not actually received any direct evolutions since Generation 4. However, honestly, you never really know with the curveballs that the Pokemon Company has been throwing at us lately, so I do still think at the very least this video will make for a fun discussion. I think we have some pretty interesting takes here, so let me know in the comments which Pokemon you think should have evolved, and with that, let's dive in. Number 10, Aryados. Now, I know from a design standpoint, Aryados might seem like a strange pick. However, while I do like its design, I can definitely see it being pushed further like this design we see here. By the way, all artists featured in the video will be credited in the description box, so make sure to check them out. Anyways, Aryados from a stat and usability standpoint just completely falls flat. The only niche it had was Sticky Web, at least for singles, and Galvantula, one of my favorite Pokemon, just does that objectively better. It's really low on this list because while it's not very good, its design does not scream incomplete like some of the others. But to be fair, they thought Rhydon needed an evolution, and I guess anything's possible at this point. Number 9, Dreadnought. Now, I know what people are going to say. Dreadnought has a G-Max form. Well, Dynamax and subsequently Gigantamax likely will not be making a return, and thus giving this thing an evolution would be non-consequential in my opinion. Firstly, design-wise, this thing looks like a middle stage. Like, am I not the only one who sees this? Stat-wise, it's not terrible. It's got a pretty decent attack stat with access to Liquidation, Swords Dance, and Swift Swim, but it's also not a competitive powerhouse by any means, being untiered in Smogon. Its sub 500 base stat total could definitely be improved upon, and honestly, they could just give the evolution a form very reminiscent of its G-Max form. Just make it smaller, change a little bit of stuff up, and you're good to go. Let me know in the comments if you feel that Dreadnought looks like a middle stage. I legit thought he was going to get an evolution when it got revealed. Number 8, Miractus. Okay, so this Pokemon is being included not because I like it or even care about, or even really its design. I mean, it could use an evolution, but its design doesn't exactly scream incomplete. No. The reason I'm including this Pokemon is because of how forgettable it is. It is so forgettable that it's becoming memorable for the fact that it's forgettable. Its design is very forgettable, its stats are very bad, and it's not even the first cactus Pokemon, so it doesn't even have its own niche. I definitely think this thing needs a little more love from Game Freak. Number 7, every Pikachu clone. Yes, every single Pikachu clone. If somehow someone at the Pokemon Company is watching this video, stop creating these Pikachu clones that suck. Like, I don't understand what the point is. Sure, Pachirisu did its thing in VGC that one time, and I even like the design of Emolga, but a lot of them are just completely underwhelming and in my opinion, a waste of a Pokedex slot. We don't need a Pikachu clone in every gen if Pikachu is still going to be in every damn generation regional dex anyway, so yeah, give the previous one some evolutions maybe, or at the very least, if you plan on adding more of them, let them evolve instead of looking like these stage 1 baby Pokemon. Number 6, Jinx. Okay, so in this video, this is by far the least likely to happen in my opinion, because I think Jinx is one of those Pokemon that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company are actively just trying to forget about, or at least get people to forget about it due to its controversial history regarding its design and all the backlash around that. Jinx sort of always made a trio with Electabuzz and Magmar, all three getting pre-evolutions in Gen 2, but was left behind in Generation 4 when the other two Pokemon gained evolutions. That said, while I can understand why they might not want to touch Jinx with a 10-foot pole, just in case, since they don't want to reignite any discussion about its design, I feel like leaving it as a final stage Pokemon might actually give Jinx more attention than if it was just a middle stage Pokemon. Middle stage evolutions are generally the most forgettable due to the nature of them being in between the start and the end. This is very true in psychology, as we're most likely to remember the initial events and the events towards the end of a situation rather than the middle pieces, but I digress. The thing doesn't even look like an ice type, so I feel like they could give it some ice type elements and really lean into that ice princess design or whatever they were going for to help people get away from what it was initially thought to be based off of. Number 5, Farfetchd. Okay, so obviously Farfetchd gained an evolution in Galar being Surfetchd, but that's only for Galarian Farfetchd, and this point could extend to a lot of other Galarian and Hisuian Pokemon that received evolutions only for those forms. I think the idea of these different forms getting getting evolutions is really cool, but we should see some alternate forms for those evolutions as well. Like some Pokemon such as Linoon, Farfetchd, Basculin, Stantler, etc. really needed evolutions one way or another, but their default forms, aka non-regional variants, are still kind of useless. I think a cool design that they could go with would be if they made the leek turn into like a bow staff, a commonly used tool in martial arts, and gave it the flying fighting dual typing. I love Sirfetch'd and honestly have always liked Farfetch'd, so I would like to see it have a counterpart. Number 4, Eevee. Okay, yes, duh, Eevee. Where's my dragon evolution at? I mean, a ghost type evolution would also be really cool, but a common trend we see with evolutions is that each one is based off of what was originally considered to be a special type prior to Gen 4. I mean, if fairy type was part of the original roster, it would have likely been considered a special type as well. So the only non-type being represented by the evolutions is dragon. I don't know, just make it happen, call it Drakeon or something, and they could even just make it look kind of like how Spyro the Dragon looks, like quadruped with little wings. It could be kind of fun. Number 3, Unknown. Okay, so this is definitely a bit of a weird one, but hear me out. Unknown are heavily steeped in lore. They're theorized by many to be Arceus's 1,000 arms referenced in the Pokedex, and have always been shrouded in mystique, whether it be in the ruins of Alph or their appearances within the Pokemon anime and movies. Now, seeing that Scarlet and Violet are going to be open world games, and that there's this idea that Unknown are supposed to be weak alone but strong together, I could see Unknown scattered across the region as some sort of Korok Seed-esque collection side quest of sorts, where you can catch all the Unknown forms and then maybe go to a special place in the game or whatever, and all the Unknowns will pop out of your PC box because it's like linked if it's like Sword and Shield, and maybe they'll like fuse together to create this really strong either pseudo-legendary or downright legendary Pokemon. Furthermore, the Dex could reference this Pokemon as one of the 1,000 arms to show how powerful Arceus truly was in its full form. In Legends Arceus, it gives you a part of itself, which is the Legend Plate and the Pokemon known as Arceus, but I believe that the true Arceus itself is a being with unlimited power rather than just that physical manifestation of it that you see in game. That would explain why it gets beat up by cement in one of the movies. Number 2, Heliolisk. Okay, with this thing, I love its design as a middle stage. I thought when we saw the electric normal typing on Helioptile and subsequently Heliolisk, I thought that maybe it would end up swapping out that secondary type, but no, it just never evolved, and honestly, it was quite disappointing. It's not a terrible Pokemon stat-wise, but I do feel like design-wise, it leaves a lot to be desired, making it feel like an unfinished line. It almost gives me that kind of like Gen 2 Pokemon feel where Gen 4 fixed a lot of those lines, but in this case, we didn't get that. I'd love to see it evolve into an electric dragon type since it's already a reptile, but honestly at this point, just give it something. It looks so incomplete. Number 1, Dunsparce. So yes, the same Pokemon that everybody says needs an evolution, but this is a common sentiment for a good reason. Dunsparce just doesn't look like the final evolution of anything, or even a standalone Pokemon. It looks like a pre-evolution, and what's more than that is it gets a pretty solid move pool, but just needs good stats to be useful. This is a pretty commonly shown art piece for a potential evolution to Dunsparce that I believe is trying to be like normal dragon, and I think this would be awesome. Just literally commission this and I'd be happy. But yeah, there you go, guys. Those were 10 Pokemon that I think definitely deserve to evolve in Generation 9. Whether or not they will get an evolution is a completely different story. With all that said, Pokemon Legends definitely got me back into the whole Pokemon thing, so I'm happy that I have more inspiration to make some fun Pokemon content to go alongside the plethora of monster taming content as well. Definitely let me know if you did enjoy this video and what other types of videos you'd like to see. I definitely want to do some more top 10 favorite monsters for each of the main monster taming games that we cover, so I think that could be a lot of fun too. Anyways, if you do enjoy monster taming content, definitely subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos every single day. You can also check out my Twitter, Discord, Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to the patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Steel Case, and Dark Persona. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.